So I'm Chris Klein. I am the leader of what we call a Global HR and Payroll Solutions practice at the Spencer Thomas Group. Fun fact, we're turning 25 years old this year. I've been part of the firm for just about 10 years, but prior to my being a leader in the company, I was actually a customer, even during my time with ADP. We do HR and payroll consulting all over the world. We have a network approaching about 1,000 consultants now. And ADP is obviously a very important strategic partner for us. You know, that's one of the cool things about us. We can help pretty much any way they need help. We're not a traditional consulting firm where we have many focuses. We're really a network. So our first question is always, what do you need? Where do you need it? And for how long do you need it? And then we go into our network and we find the professional that suits the need. Whether that's HR, benefits, time and attendance, payroll, we really can do it all. It's a bit of a unique approach to consulting in this space. We have a lot of clients that don't even know where to begin. So we're able to leverage our relationships with ADP and our client base to help them make early on decisions. You know, what should we do? Where should we do it? How should we go about this? Business case always comes up quite often. So yeah, from the very beginning, we can work with procurement teams. We can do what we like to call a heavy lift or a light lift. A lot of organizations have their own internal way of doing things, and that's fine. But I always like to tell clients that it's nice to have that person in the room that's been there, done that more times than you, to be kind of a second set of ears. When most people think business case, they immediately think money. And of course, money is a big part of it. But what a lot of people new to global payroll don't realize is money isn't always something you're going to save in a global payroll rollout. And that's okay, because you have many other ways to build tangible savings. You know, staying out of the news, ensuring global compliance, shifting work smarter to lower cost locations, or just to more efficient ways of doing business. So when we look at a business case, we take all of that into consideration. Of course, the money side of things is very important, but we like to challenge customers to look at the kind of the whole picture, you know, and really understand, what are you trying to get at here? Because at the end of the day, if it's just about saving money, you will fail on many other very critical things like employee engagement and practitioner engagement and new system adoption. So we like to take a bigger view on what business case means. Well, our partnership with ADP is, I would say, first class. You know, I really would. We've been a partner with ADP for, Spencer Thomas Group for, I would say, probably 15 years. You know, I'm an ex-ADP guy myself. I was here just under 10 years, and so I think I was responsible for bringing Spencer Thomas Group to the fold, and they started helping ADP. And that relationship has really grown into many, many parts of ADP's business. We help ADP globally, locally, regionally, ADP itself, as well as ADP's customers. You know, I very much feel like it's a true partnership. We have access to all of the right people. ADP is transparent with us, and we are back to them. So it's been really nice. You know, I don't know that I can say that about other partnerships that we have or that I've seen over the course of my career. You know, I have a running joke, and it sounds very self-serving when I say it to a prospect, that you should hire us early. Because of course that means you need to spend money with us early, but the reality of it is, if you get the help you need from us or whomever in the beginning, chances are your project will be off to a very good start. And then you can find yourself in a point in time where you can carry on by yourself, or maybe the type of help you need shifts and you need less, or in different places. But all too often I get the phone call when it's too late. You know, companies try to go about this on their own, and many of them get halfway through a program and things get a little messy, and it's so much more difficult to come in and try and help when you have to untangle what happened and emotions are high. So yeah, I think if you focus up front on resources and planning and spending the time and money necessary to get off on the right way, it absolutely will save you money in spades at the end. Issues are inevitable. the very nature of what we're doing here involves human beings and legislation and changes, and particularly in the companies that we work with, ADP works with, you can have the best plan, the best intentions, the best everything, project could be going well, and an acquisition comes along, or a divestiture, or some disrupting factor, a global pandemic, fill in the blank. So you have to be prepared for that. From the very beginning, you can think through the likely challenges. We know what many of those might be, but you also need to have a plan for the unexpected. Know your options, right? In this space, it can be fraught with mistakes and pitfalls. And I see way too many clients try to do it on their own. Get help. I would love to have Spencer Thomas Group provide that help, but of course there's lots of us's in this space. I did a presentation yesterday. I'm doing the same one later today for some of the attendees where we talk about exactly that topic. How can we help? We've been there, done hundreds of these things, and we really know how to guide you through it. And I think all organizations would be better served if they would take that advice.